we're going to talk about your growth in your second year as a player. But Franz mentioned to us that he felt like you were really growing into a leader and becoming more vocal.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about just that maturation process of coming into the league, young guy, getting rookie of the year, and already within your second year, really feeling like you are one of the guys who has to talk and set the tone.
Yeah, I think it just came from, being a number one pick. Obviously, there's a certain expectation that's carried. And, it was just always encouraged by my teammates, my coaches, like, yo, speak up. Especially even my rookie year, I didn't want to speak up as much. And everyone would just tell me, like, when you're quiet, when you're reserved, it hurts the team. You're better. We're better when you're more vocal, more assertive, and kind of directing traffic. And so that was something that over the summer I kind of had to get better at. I had some talks just with different people, and so they encouraged me to kind of step up in that regard. That was probably the biggest room for improvement outside of just skill wise that I was looking to get better at. And so I think just playing USA, being around that environment, I think gaining that experience helped. And then coming to training camp, just with the expectations we had as a team, I think we all wanted to win. And I knew that in order for that to happen, I had to step up there.
But it's not natural for you. Coach K didn't bring it out of you?
No, I think that was something that Coach K really...
He was with you, like he was on the same page, like you need to be more vocal.
Yeah, that was like his biggest thing. Why are you being quiet? Why aren't you talking? Like we need to hear your voice. We need to... And so that was like during my college season, that kind of went up and down. I think towards the end, the tournament and all that, I think I got better at it and kind of saw like how my effect had on the team of just me being a better leader and more vocal. So I think that was the start. And then rookie year was kind of another step in being in the NBA. And then headed into the second year, like, okay, I got 1 year under my belt. Like, we improved in my rookie year as a team. Like this year we can make some noise. So I got to be even better.
This is not just about you. It's not. But just an observation. And Richard Rohr, who's a guy that I read all the time, he's a Franciscan priest who lives in New Mexico at some contemplation center. There's a 99.9% chance this guy's done mushrooms before. But he talks a lot about the energy you bring to a group and the effect that energy, both good and bad, can have on the group. I think what's important, and you've already realized this, which is phenomenal, I think what's important in the NBA is the star players and their energy have like an exponential effect on the group. I know we talked last time you were on the pod, we talked about our experiences with Coach K, but like Coach K was such a body language guy. And he's like constantly reading people's energy based on their face, based on their shoulders, based on, is their chin pointing down? Is their chin pointing up? It's amazing that in an 82 game season, how much just that stuff can affect the group.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And Coach K, like I said, he's one of those guys who I talked to a lot this summer, this offseason. And he called me probably 3 or 4 times, nothing crazy, but just
3 or 4 times is a lot for
Coach K in one
offseason.
No, that's what I mean. Like, so that was a good amount. I didn't expect to hear from him that much. And he just kind of, I felt that he felt this was going to be a step, like doing what I did in the summer with USA and then heading into my second year. It's like he knew that this is where I kind of had to take that next leap in terms of my leadership. Because like you said, he was huge for me in that department because I was never really great at that. Just body language wise, I think, I would show leadership in big moments always, but like just everyday body language, I wasn't very good at it. And so I remember one point during the season, he made his film edit of me and it was me getting fouled and not converting the and-one. And every time I didn't convert the and-one, I wouldn't be pissed off, but I would just always drop my head, and it was kind of just natural. I just did it. I didn't care, but I just would do it. And I didn't even really notice it. And he probably pulled like 8, 10 clips of that. It was like, stop doing this shit. Like, this is weak. This is soft, like this is not, keep your chin up. And I was like, damn, just watching those clips, like, just me getting fouled, I'm not even upset. I'm just not realizing that I'm just dropping my head. And so that's stuff that he picked up on that kind of just always made me like focus on my body language.
I don't know if this is a weird, like not a conspiracy, but maybe just like a weird fact or an untrue fact that I found on Google. But apparently, when you put your chest out and raise your head, it raises your testosterone levels. I read that.
I wouldn't doubt that that's true.
Like in the moment, you get like a surge of like stuff.
It's probably true. It's just funny.
Well, think about it, dude. If you're droopy, and your head's down,
it's natural. Yeah. You
like
relax.
you're telling me you're ready to play?
Yeah.
You're telling me you're ready to play?
No, and that's why it hit me. I kind of was like, no, he's right. Like this kind of it looks bad.
Yeah. Well, your game, you just met Knox and Kai again, and you were like, oh yeah, I remember meeting you guys at Duke. And it was the Miami game, and I've told this story before, but there was a timeout. You guys lost the game. And it was very obvious to me, and I'm not Coach K, that there was some body language issues that game. And he called timeout in the second half. You guys all sit down. He comes over to the huddle, and he literally just called the timeout to tell you guys that your faces fucking suck. Nothing else happened. I'm sitting right behind the bench. There was not a play. There was not a matchup change. There was nothing. He was just like, your faces fucking suck. Just wanted to point that out to you. That's basically it.
No, he's definitely the catalyst in that department for me, which I forever am appreciative for because I needed it. And I still think, like I said, I still think about it to this day, because sometimes I catch myself and I'm just like, nah, I got to stay, and stoic, kind of how he was.
From a body language standpoint and just from sort of an energy standpoint, now that you're a year and a half in, dealing with the slog, like dealing with the okay, we got back-to-backs, we're in OKC last night, we're in these places that maybe it's not necessarily also right now with how many guys you guys are missing and all the doubles and even triples you're facing, it's a grind. I mean, the NBA is always a grind, but it's really a grind. So just from an energy standpoint, how are you maintaining that now? What have you learned over the last year in terms of maintaining that?
Yeah, it's crazy you say that because that's just really been my main focus, especially with the road games and like you said, back-to-backs and everything. I think I've just learned so much about myself just throughout the year last year where there'd be games where on a back-to-back, I didn't eat the night before, and so now I'm behind, and then I get to the game and I don't got energy. I can feel that I'm empty. And so now heading into this year, I'm just making sure that none of that is in question. I think trying to make sure that my energy is always consistent, whether it's what I eat, how I'm sleeping, because I think the NBA is just how I'm noticing. I feel like it's really repetitive, with just the schedule and the same kind of places and situations. Like, for instance, we just played Golden State and then Sacramento on a back-to-back, and it was the same situation last year where we played Golden State and drove to Sacramento after the game, played Sacramento. And so I thought of that, this year. And I remember that Sacramento game, my rookie year, not feeling great, didn't sleep very well, didn't eat. And then so I made sure this Sacramento game this year to, make sure I slept, got something to eat right after the Golden State game so that, the next day and heading into the game, I was feeling much better. And, we almost won the game.
I think last time we had you on the pod, it was December-ish, if that's right of Christmas, your rookie year. Yeah, December 18th, the pod came out, something like that. Was that the biggest adjustment for you, or the biggest shock in terms of your rookie year? Because when we talked to you, guys had probably played 20 or 25 games. You hadn't really hit this point of the season, which is, I think, the worst point of the season, which is January 5th-ish to All-Star break.
It's really becomes a grind.
It's the hard part.
Yeah, no, and that's when last year, that was when I got messed up. January, February, I got messed up. That was the wall that everybody talked about. That was when I hit the wall. So that was the biggest thing for me this year. How can I make sure that I'm ready for that? Because it's going to happen. So actually a guy who talked to me, or I talked to and asked, was Russell Westbrook. And he came up to me and told me, he was like, yo, whatever, good year. Said, what's up? Congratulations. He was like, but, year 2 is the hardest year. And I was like, for real? Why do we say that? And he said, because one, you got expectations now. Everyone is expecting you to perform, and, everyone's expecting you to improve and be better. And so then I asked him, like, what was your mentality? Like, how did you become better in year 2? Like, what did you do? He said, like I said earlier about energy, like I made sure my routine was the same every day. He's like, I still do, but made sure I ate the same every day. I knew how much I was eating, what I was eating, how much I was sleeping, so that when the game start, I'm not even thinking about how I feel. Like, I might be sore or whatnot, but mentally, physically, like I'm all there. And so that was my biggest thing, was like making sure game in and game out, like all the other stuff I got to do leading up, whether it's stretching, eating, sleep, like all that's taken care of. So the game, I can just focus on the game.